Welcome to Talking Hawks podcast. It's Matt and Chris here at Box Hill City Oval with Damian Mascitti. We are here. Yeah, it's a little bit wet this morning, but how are you seeing the day playing out from your perspective?
Yeah, it is, mate. Obviously, it hasn't probably stopped raining for a while, so standard Box Hill City Oval get here and it's beautiful conditions. But really looking forward to today. I think this weather sort of simplifies it a fair bit. And, looking to put in a big performance. So, beautiful. First game back at home.
Yeah. First game. How's that for the new players? I guess you got a fair few from the Hawks listed players in the mix.
Definitely.
So here's Lachie Bramble, obviously before Box Hill's game against Collingwood, 30 touches on Monday. How'd you feel coming off the ground?
Yeah, really good. I was pretty convinced with my game. Sort of had a licence to not do what I want, but just get my hands on the footy, get some continuity back, and probably didn't have that playing in the AFL side, so I'm just trying to find some form.
Would have been difficult, obviously playing sub and not getting a full game, and then obviously coming back to Box Hill.
Yeah, that was a little bit hard. It was, you're trying to keep your spot in the side, and then you get the sub, and you can't get on till late, so you can't really showcase what you're about. So that was a little bit challenging, but I think coming back last week to Box Hill was probably good for the run anyway.
Having Zane as a developmental coach at Hawthorn and then him being the Box Hill coach, does that help in terms of knowing what you need to improve on?
Yeah, it's exactly. So we had a team meeting yesterday, and it's exactly the same messaging from Sam and the coaches at Hawthorn to Box Hill, same game plan, same everything. So it's really easy.
So here with Benny Cavarra. Benny, how's the knee coming along?
It's coming pretty well. I'm about 5 weeks into my recovery now, so the surgery all went good. Bit of a slow burn, but I'm getting there.
And you're obviously helping out at the club, so what have they got you doing in terms of that?
Yeah, so look, I'm helping out with a few different things. Me and Zane spoke, and I just said, whatever you need, game day I can help out a little bit. So I'll be in the box helping him out, and during the week it's helping out those younger boys. So I can use a bit of my experience to, just help out as much as I can.
Obviously kicking 50 goals last year, we have to try and find players that are going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
We've got young Bennett's who's come in, obviously Jack O'Sullivan as well, so lots of those young kids coming through. How are you helping to develop their game?
Oh, do you know what? It's a great opportunity for them. And if you look at the previous records, I mean, Butts kicked 4 goals last week. Thorpe is a taller player, but he did really well too. And for me, talking to him game day, just giving little bits of advice when it's necessary. But it's also very specific because some players do need that and others don't. So it's knowing them as a person and how you can help them there.
I understand how dark places work and how they want to talk to each other.
So we get the balance in the air, and we get the balance at ground level. We don't need this all flying against each other. Yeah.
So if you're one of the smalls as well, don't let your man fly, because there's times where we're jumping against each other, but they've still got 3 in the air. For example, Trey Rusco, he's not playing on big, but he's flown and outnumbered every contest. So you don't have to lock them down the whole time, but at least do something. Give them a whack, do something.
we're here with Max Lynch after Box Hill's 59-point victory. Max, how was it out there?
Yeah, it was good. It was bloody tough conditions at times with the rain and the middle being a bit cut up, I suppose. So, but it was really, really good. I think the boys really sort of put all that behind us and came out and just wanted to really play a tough brand of footy. And I think, especially in the first half, we really put our heads over it well. They drew a few free kicks because we were harder and tougher, so got to come away with the 4 points because of it.
Your efforts around the middle of the ground were huge. Obviously, using your tank to get around. How did you feel, obviously, playing it in these type of conditions where it was a bit muddier, obviously a bit slippery underfoot? Did you feel like you had a bit more of an advantage over the other bigger guys out there?
I felt like I was running on a treadmill at times, not going anywhere. But no, I think running's sort of been one of my strengths that I want to try and bring on a more regular basis. So I think to be able to do it a bit more today was good and a bit of reward for it.
So we're here with Max Ramsden. Now, Maxie today kicked 4 goals, 1. Talk to us about your game out there.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with what I could do in the forward line. I didn't make the impact I would have hoped to in the ruck, but no, I was happy to keep my mind focused on the game and impact in the areas that I could. I was happy that I could mark it in the wet conditions. Actually, that was pretty happy with that. Yeah, we just performed really well as a team, and our forward line especially was really potent today.
Now, you came in the mid-season draft last year, so this was your first pre-season. How have you found, obviously, getting up to speed of VFL level, hopefully AFL level footy?
Yeah, well, I think the first 6 months actually really helped because, at the club, it's people say that I'm a second year, but really I'm on the same, pretty similar development path to the first year coming in. But the first 6 months really helped me, putting on size. I put on 10 kilos in the first 6 months before the pre-season, so I was in a much better spot than I would have been if I waited till the end of the year. But yeah, I had a few, hiccups in the pre-season, a few injuries, but after I got, consistency, it was really good.
Now, putting on the 10 kilos of size hasn't diminished your running ability, because I know in the pre-season you and Max Lynch were in the top 5 for the hill sprints on the final day of the training camp. Can you talk to us about your running prowess and how you believe that's going to help you in the future?
Yeah, I think it's something that puts me apart from other rucks in the competition. I've always just sort of had it. I used to be a bit shorter and I was just a good runner, and then when I grew I sort of just kept it, which was pretty lucky. It just allows me to keep going all day and outwork people, especially forward, just get past them and get goal side, which I find really helpful.
Now, Zane is the development coach at Hawthorn and also the Box Hill coach as well. How is your relationship with him and what are his strengths?
Yeah, Zane's great. He's so positive, gets around the boys, makes such an effort to get to know us. He's always out of training, getting the energy up, getting his voice up, which I really love. He's been great so far.
And obviously you're a ruckman who's spending a lot of time in the forward line. Have you been working with David Hale primarily as the ruck coach, or are you also spending a bit of time working with Chris Newman, who's the forward coach?
Yeah, so David Hale is my mentor coach. So I spend a lot of time with him on my ruck craft, but then I'm actually in the forward group. So when we do line meetings and lines at training, I'm with the forwards. So I think that's where my opportunity would be if I was if I got a game. It would probably be as a forward because we have rucks that are going quite a lot at the moment. So I've been working really hard on that with Newey and Storm. And
so we're here with Andy Collins, who's the head of development at Hawthorn. Andy, can you talk to us about the young kids coming through? Who's really impressed you so far this season?
Yeah, I feel like my job's made pretty easy. I've got great staff like Zane, who's coaching Box Hill, and then Dave McKay, who's actually in Adelaide today as we speak. But we're really pleased with all our young players progressing. That no one's moving backwards in our minds. So we have 7 young Hawks playing AFL senior football, 7 under the age of 21. And they deserve their spot, based on what they're performing, versus I think that we had 14 players out there today. Now, it's not only because he's right behind me or beside me, but Max Ramsden is coming with a big shooting star. And then if we look at our Category B rookie, Josh Bennett, it's just going from strength to strength. And if you think about the young guys that we haven't seen yet, but we will see at AFL level very quickly, in Josh Weddle. And he had a terrific game today in his performance. I think about Sam Butler, fitter, stronger, and we saw Ned Long, that's getting his second game of footy today. Seamus Mitchell, and then if you look at his twin brother in Bailey McDonald, mothers from sons from different mothers, but we're a really exciting young brand at Hawthorn Footy Club.
Now, you're a school teacher by trade, and in the third quarter huddle, it was fascinating listening to you talking to Butsy. When you obviously go in with these young kids, does your teaching background really help you to be able to engage with them and then to be able to get across that message?
Yeah, I would hope so. Being a teacher, I think that we develop skills that can communicate with a broad range of what we would call students, but in this case, a broad range of athletes. So we know that as teachers, we're dealing with a diversity of students. It's no different to the personalities that we have at a footy club. Different learning methods, but you've got to build the relationships first. Hopefully, by building strong, supportive relationships, then that athlete is willing to listen.
That's fantastic to hear. Now, obviously, you have a role here at Box Hill as well, where you're working with Zane Littlejohn, who's the coach. Today, obviously, Hawthorn is playing in Norwood, and you're here today at Box Hill City Oval with Zane. What can you talk to us about Zane's relationship with those players? Obviously, he has a role at both the footy club, Hawthorn Footy Club, and also Box Hill as well.
So we're a development team of 3, as I mentioned, and Zane takes on the responsibility within that portfolio of coaching Box Hill. The majority of the young players, rightfully or wrongfully, will be playing at Box Hill as they move through their progression, and that's where the head of development supports that. On game day, when we have a lot of players playing in both levels, my role is at Box Hill. We've got Dave McKay sitting on the bench today to assist the young players. When I can, or Zane can, we also partake in Hawthorn. So last week with a double header, we look out for the young players in particular around the development of that.
In terms of Box Hill and Hawthorn's relationship, you were saying earlier today when we were talking to you about big brother and little brother. Can you talk to us about the alignment between the Hawthorn Footy Club and the Box Hill Footy Club and the importance that it plays?
I think that everyone talks, and sometimes we can really take it for granted, about the wonderful alignment that we have between both clubs. So that includes the board at both clubs and the support that the big brother or the big sibling in the Hawthorn Footy Club, and we've been gender neutral, big sibling needs to look after the little sibling. There's a greater financial resources, and we also know that and understand there's a greater political pull. Now, if you think about the Hawthorn memberships at around 85,000, if they show great interest in the development of Hawthorn players, but also show great interest in the Box Hill Footy Club, because you think about the young boys that we've got, Ned Reeves a few years ago, but even recently, John Newcomb, Lachie Bramble, James Blank, and I feel that I'm missing one, which is a really important part. Hawthorn strategically have a list spot available for a high-performing Box Hill player. And the great thing about that, again, is that we'll invest in that as the Hawthorn Footy Club. So there's a lot of rewards. And I mentioned to you, that we always should be incredibly grateful that we have the Box Hill Footy Club and all their history supporting the Hawthorn Footy Club. And it's doing a great job in supporting our young Hawthorn listed players.
Beautiful. Thanks very much for giving us your time, Colin.
Pleasure.